I'm really glad to be here, and I wanted to play another song. So I did this album. Part of the reason I'm here, well, the main reason I'm here is because Bob and Tony were kind enough to support at a Kickstarter. I'm a singer-songwriter doing this record called Death in Reverse, which is where these songs are off of. And part of the arrangement was for their support for me to come, and they graciously supported me, and it's the least I could do to come and play. So I'm so glad to be here. I actually grew up in Pennsylvania on the other side of the state. And it's funny living in the South. I've lived in the South for a while now, and they say that Pennsylvania is Pittsburgh on the west, Philly on the east, and Kentucky in the middle. So I don't know if y'all aren't laughing. Is that not funny? Are y'all from Kentucky? I don't know. But anyway, but I love coming back to Pennsylvania, and But anyway, all these songs are written about the theme of resurrection, and I'm a believer in the gospel, and what I do as an artist is really just try and tell the truth about my own life. That's it, plain and simple. I don't have an agenda other than to basically deal with myself in my music. And so, and what I was really interested and fascinated with this record, to tell you a little bit about it, was I read a book by a British guy, British theologian, an Anglican. Actually, I think he was the Bishop of Durham, which is the British give fancy titles to things, right? But is a guy named N.T. Wright, and N.T. Wright is a brilliant New Testament scholar. In fact, in all the world, N.T. Wright's considered to be probably the living authority. New Testament scholar, just one of the big dogs in that world, right? And I read this book that he wrote. He's written a lot of great books, and he wrote a book called Surprised by Hope. And I was at this place in my life where I was trying to sort of unpack Easter, and I have a friend who wrote a whole record about Christmas. A lot of artists make Christmas records. And it's good for, the Duck Dynasty guys made a Christmas record. I don't know if you knew about that, but it's a big industry, right? And N.T. Wright makes the point in this book that Christmas is great, right? But Easter is really, champagne for breakfast, if you're a believer. Easter is where we hang our hats, where I hang my hat as a believer. And so his whole point in this book is, the idea of Christmas being that Emmanuel, God with us, that carries over into Easter, and such a powerful reality. And to unpack the reality of Emmanuel, God with us, in Christ's death and resurrection. And what I was interested in after reading this book was to try to find the places in my life where resurrection was happening, where I could find proof, like material evidence of renewal in my life. And I wanted to write a bunch of songs about that. And I wanted the music itself to sound like joy, to hit you like joy. And so that's what I tried to do. And I got clobbered by life in the process of... Is everybody okay? It's really quiet in here. All right. I got clobbered by life in the process of trying to write these songs. And what I set out to do was kind of dive headlong into my own heart, searching for evidence of renewal, and trying to pull that out and put it into songs, and lyrically, musically, and just have that all be saturated in joy. And what I've come to find is that I have joy, but the joy that I have is always connected to sorrow, and that my cup of joy is only as deep as my sorrow has carved it out. And so it was quite an experience writing and recording this record. And I was doing an interview not long ago, I think in September this fall, with a buddy who has a podcast, and we were talking about this, and he was like, "How did you know when the record was done?" And I said, "Man, I think the record was done with me. I don't think I finished the record. Like I really feel like for this collection of songs, I've made several albums, but for this collection of songs, I really feel in a lot of ways that these songs have sort of written me. And as an artist, it's such a mysterious process, you know, to create something, and while you're creating something, kind of be recreated. So that's a little bit about this album, Death in Reverse, about renewal and resurrection. And this song I want to play for you is called "Beauty Leads the Way," and it's an important song on the record in the scope of the way the theme unpacks as you listen to the record. And I have a little girl. She just turned 5 yesterday, and her name's Millie. And one of my nicknames for her is Beauty. I just call her Beauty sometimes. And I started writing this song for her, but while I was writing this song, I sort of unpacked it and took it in different directions. And what I've come to find, if you want to find the places in your life where renewal is happening, or find the places in your city or your town or your family or your friends where renewal and resurrection is happening, you follow the beauty. Beauty will lead you there. Beauty is like a crumb trail, God's fingerprints, right? And so it goes like this, called Beauty Leads the Way. You've got a smile that lifts me out of here when I'm all tripped up and turn around. I'm in the trenches where you lift me up again. My heart and mind so far away. Ooh, for the longing, the aching, and the call. Ooh. Look in the spaces where the separation thins to dislocated cracks of light. Under the surface, up above, it's all the same. You're everywhere, but hard to find. Ooh, for the longing, the aching, and the call. There's no denying you at all now. Beauty leads the way. Beauty leads the way to the glory of the world we were made for. Beauty leads the way. Beauty leads the way. Beauty leads the way to the glory of the world we were made for. Beauty leads the way. Oh, she'll take you by surprise. Go right into the flames. Measures the sacrifice, 'cause beauty leads the way. She's like the morning sun, the answer to your shame. Rescue